So tonight I want to just cover a little bit about getting some clarity around getting some momentum in our business, I suppose. Kylie and I and a couple of the other girls who went to conference actually signed up for Simon Chan's Insider Group. We've only been a part of that for like a week or something, not even a week. And I'm getting so much out of it already, and I know Kylie is as well. So I think every week for a little while, we really want to share with you girls what is working for us and what we're doing so that we can pass it on to you girls. And like we all hear all the time, be consistent, like do those high paying activities, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah. And now that I have so much clarity around, I think Simon Chan just makes it very, very clear and gives you specific, exact messages of what you need to do. Yeah, Ali signed up as well, and I think a couple of the other girls did as well. So I wanted to have a bit of a, I suppose, Word document where I shared my screen and you girls could just take photos of the message just to save time and stuff. But because I didn't get around to doing that, I'm just going to read the message out, and if you girls can just write it down, I think it's going to be really, really helpful for you. Simon has some really good verbiage. I have shared one of the messages, I think, with my team. But for those of you who are in Kylie's team and stuff, I want to share it with everyone. Kylie may have shared it with her girls anyway, but basically what he's saying is set aside an amount of time every single day. So we know you're going to be consistent. We know life happens, stuff gets in the way. But if you can block out 30 minutes, if you can block out 10 minutes, like whatever it is, but don't spend that time scrolling on Facebook. If you have this little system in front of you, whether it's like pinned up on your whiteboard, if it's in your notes on your phone, if you're a paper person like me, I just have it written down in my book, so that when you've got, okay, I've got half an hour, what do I need to do? You're going to get into action straight away. And this has started so many conversations for me. Because you've got focused attention and you know exactly what you need to do. So say you've got half an hour, you're going to divide that into 10-minute blocks because you've got 3 different little activities that you want to do. So you've got 30 minutes. The first 10 minutes you are spending, he calls, collecting friends. So you don't want to go into business groups because they're too spammy and so many people are against network marketing, or they're doing network marketing, so they're not looking for another company. But you want to be going into those groups, like whatever interest groups you are part of, right? So whether it's a mum's group, whether it's a dance group, whether it's a cooking group, whether it's a fitness group, and you're going to spend that time doing CLAM. So I'm not sure if everyone's heard of CLAM. Probably some of you have, but the C stands for comment. So say you were, for me, I'm part of a lot of dance groups because of Tali. So you're going to go into a group and you're going to find a post that you can resonate with and you're going to comment on it. So that's what the C stands for. And then you're also going to like that post, which is L. You're going to add them as a friend. And at first I'm like, oh, that's a bit weird. But you have to get out of your comfort zone. You have something in common with them, so it's not weird. And then you're going to message them. So I'm just going to bring up the message so that you can write it down. Got to find it now. Okay, so this is what Simon's example was. Hey, John. So, hey, whoever, I love the video that you posted, if it's a video. I love the whatever that you've commented on about your son playing baseball. My son and I love baseball too. How old is your son? So you want to finish with a question. That's the key factor here, because if you're finishing with a question, not everyone's going to reply or answer the question, but that's okay. But some people are, because it's like, oh, cool, he plays he's got a son that plays baseball too, or she loves health and fitness, or whatever it might be. And then they're asking me a question, so I better reply. If they don't reply, that's okay. You don't want those kind of people in your team anyway. That's what I think, because they're rude. Or they just aren't friendly, or whatever it might be. So you want to do that as much as you can within that first 10 minutes. But you're not replying if they reply back to you straight away. You're not getting caught up in the conversation. You're just focusing on as many new conversations as you can get in that first 10 minutes.
Nick, can I just add something to that?
Sure.
Only because I watched a Simon Chan video on the way to the gym today, and I think a lot of people probably do this. How TeNika mentioned about the question at the end. He was talking about the 3 rules of when you're messaging and that with people. And as TeNika said, she already mentioned about having a commonality, like the baseball and baseball, you know, having that commonality. But the other thing he said, people ask a question and then they go and blabber on a bit more again. And he was like, you can't do that. If you want to say whatever that is, say it at the top. You can't ask the question and then say something else again, because they won't reply to your question.
Exactly.
I think I've been caught up in that before, because then you want to just because you've asked them something and you want to just smooth it back over again, you won't get a reply from them.
Yeah.
It's just his thing was, the first person that talks after the question is the one that loses. And I was like, wow. So if you're asking a question and then you say something again, you've lost. You're done. So think about that. Just follow what TeNika said.
Yeah, it's so true. So after you've done clamming for 10 minutes, you're moving on to the next thing, which is inviting. So this message is really, really short and sweet, and there's no mucking around. So it's, hi, you can say whatever, hey, lovely, however you speak. I'm working on something exciting. It may or may not be for you. Would you be interested or open, whichever word you prefer, to take a look? That's it. I put at the end of that, look forward to hearing from you soon. But, you know, he just finishes it with that. So whatever you feel comfortable with.
Thank you. Is that the one that you put in the chat?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with this, I would be recommending, when you're doing your high-paying activities and you're adding 5 friends to Facebook every day, this is the kind of message you want to send to them. So I think it's really important to, if you're doing those things and you're adding new friends to your list, it's just going to roll on. So every day when you've got that 30 minutes put aside and you're spending 10 minutes on this, you've got those people to invite from the clamming the day before or whatever. And in the beginning, when you first get started on this, you might not have, if you haven't really been working your business, you might not have that many people to, you know, that you haven't connected with. And so that's why you might want to spend 15 minutes adding more people to Facebook and clamming on them, and only 5 minutes on the other bits until you get that momentum and that flow. So then the third 10 minutes is following up. And this is the same thing, right? If you haven't been having many conversations, you're not going to have many people to follow up with. Because it's like, oh shit, who do I follow up with? I haven't been having many conversations. Or you can scroll back through Messenger. Like, I know it's not the ideal way, but let's be honest, sometimes we don't have our grids when we're doing work at the cafe or whatever, and we're messaging people and they might not be on the grid. So people do get lost. So if you're scrolling back through Messenger and just having a look, then you might come across some people who you haven't followed up with. This is a bit of a long message, but I still want you guys to write it down. So Simon calls this the I'm busy follow-up, which I think is really, really good. So, hey, whoever, I wanted to apologise. I haven't touched base with you in the last few days. Or it could be a few weeks or a few months. It might be a bit awkward. I've had so much cool, crazy stuff going on. Super busy, but I just wanted to see if you are around later today or first thing tomorrow. As I have a bit of spare time then, and I'd love to squeeze you in for a quick chat. Now, I think this is really good because he was talking about having posture and not coming across as that needy, like, join my team, I've got so much time in the world, like, when do you want to jump on a call? I'm so flexible. You know, you don't want to come across as that person. You want to come across as that person who is busy, even if you're not busy. But they don't know that. And when you're sending this message, they're like, oh, wow, she's really busy and she's giving me the opportunity to connect with her. Like, they feel like they're privileged that they're getting your time. It's not like, please, please come and join me, I need team. So I thought that was really, really good as well, that, you know, just that message. So if you're doing that religiously every single day, you're going to start to get momentum. You're starting to attract more people into your tribe, into your Facebook page or Instagram, whatever it might be, whatever works for you. And then you're going to find that you're having so many conversations that you might need a little bit more time. You might need 15 minutes for each of those 3 activities, which is a good thing. So I just want to share with you, before I went to conference, I thought I was doing pretty good in my job. Like, I was working every day doing something. But what I found was I really wasn't having too many conversations, to be honest. Some days I wouldn't do anything, like I wouldn't reach out to people. I would watch so many links and recordings and stuff like that. And then Adam said to me when we did a call with him after conference, personal development is not listening to podcasts. Like, when you feel that you're stuck or in your business or within yourself, or there's some blockage that you have that you just can't get past to get to that next level or whatever it might be, you need to go to work on yourself, and that isn't just by listening to podcasts. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I thought that was like personal development and going to work on yourself when they talk about going to work on yourself. You have to actually invest money and do a course, whatever it might be, Tony Robbins or the Mitch and Mills Mind, Money, and whatever that one is. Something like, yeah, and yes, it costs money, and sometimes it costs thousands. Thanks, Hayley. But that's like, and that's what I feel I need to be doing right now. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to Tony Robbins in September. I've already committed to that and bought my ticket. So I'm going to see how that goes. And if it doesn't make me cry and break through those barriers and make me realize what is holding me back, then I have to go and do something else. It's not forever. Don't feel as though listening to podcasts is going to help you with your business, because it is not. Like, it's awesome for inspiration, and I still love all of that. And sometimes even just listening to podcasts that have nothing to do with our business or network marketing, you know, like I love the Mamma Mia one. And there's also another one that I've just been listening to as well, about women who are starting up their own businesses and what's giving them the inspiration and what's helped them grow their businesses and stuff like that. So, you know, all of that stuff is really good, but don't think that you're working when you're doing that. If you can just focus, if you're feeling like a bit overwhelmed, because we do have a lot of information, we do have a lot of resources, there's always links and, you know, everything popping up on all the pages all the time. Don't worry about any of that stuff, especially the girls who have been in, and all of you girls have been in the business for probably more than 12 months now, except for maybe Charmin. So don't worry about that stuff, like especially if you're feeling overwhelmed. I know Hayley and Katie, you guys have young kids, Ali. So if you're putting that half an hour of exactly what I've spoken about tonight into place, and even Trace, you know, with your work and the days are crazy, right? So many of you girls are still working full-time and stuff, and that's fine. But if you, and I was having this conversation with Kerry the other day when we caught up on Sunday, it's amazing how much more clearer you feel and happy within yourself if you have just focused on that half an hour of, you know, action, full action, sending out those messages. It doesn't matter what shit goes on for the rest of the day, right? Like if you can do that first thing in the morning, which Kerry said that's when she finds herself the most productive, is like 5:30 till 6:30. It doesn't matter what happens for the rest of the day, because you've got like a clear mind for the rest of the day going, you know what, shit's happened today, the kids are gone crazy or whatever, but I'm feeling proud of myself because I've done that half an hour of work today. And it takes the pressure off you, because I know we're all like, oh my God, I've got to work on my business, but I haven't done anything, and you beat yourself up about it. Honestly, girls, it seriously just takes the weight off your shoulders. If you can do this, it's going to change so much. So this is just a little, I don't know if you can see it, but that's the conversations that I've been having since Monday. So there's about 1.5 pages. The ones highlighted in yellow are the ones I've sent links to. So, of course, it's a process. You got to go through the numbers. And some of them, like, I haven't even heard back from, and that's okay. But today, Kylie and I did 3 three-way calls with 3 potentials. And that's just within 3 days. So, you know, if you can start getting this momentum happening and focus on just this, don't worry about anything else, honestly. Like, jump onto Monday night training if you can, because that's still pretty important to stay close to the fire. Jump on our training on Tuesday nights, because we're going to be covering a lot of this stuff that we're learning from Simon. But the rest of it, don't worry about recordings that pop up or lives that happen. Like, you don't need to be listening to that stuff right now. If you want to grow your business, this is how you're going to do it. You just need to connect with more people. It's all about building relationships, but nothing in what I've covered tonight is telling you just to say, connect, like, hey, hun, how are you going? That's time consuming. Like, yes, it is all about building relationships, but right now we want to get into this massive action that Simon's sharing with us and teaching us, because if you want to grow your business, that's what you need to be doing now. So does anyone have any questions? Or I'll try and put them, maybe once this recording goes up, I'll put those messages in the comments so that it's easy for people to copy and paste if you didn't get a chance to write them down exactly tonight. Is there anything else that you girls have concerns around, or that you feel a bit, I'm not sure if I can do that, or...
I'm just going to share a little bit as well. It's not concerns, but I just wanted to share, I guess, and be, you know, raw and real with you girls, is that at the beginning of every month for a long time, I've set my goals and what I wanted to do, and I hadn't put on team or, you know, a customer here and there for quite some time, but I was going to work every day. And I think the biggest thing for me is I started Simon Chan a little bit before conference, and the proof is in the pudding. Like, I put on 5 customers, actually ended up being 8 customers in June, but I lost 3 because Katie took her own customers back for her own orders, and 3 new team. Now, they weren't all from new conversations, but it was using Simon Chan's follow-up. I didn't go into Tenika's one that she shared, but it was just literally reaching back out and just saying, hey, exactly what Tenika said, sorry I haven't been in touch for so long. And I had the awkward one of like 3 months, 6 months, and I was just like, hey, I'm sorry I haven't been in touch for so long. I've just been super busy building my business. I've just come back from an amazing conference. How are you going? So I actually didn't ask, have you had a chance to watch that link, which I've used that for so freaking long. And Simon actually said that on a video this afternoon. I was frustrated because I'm like, why did you say to do that? Because everything else in his script, he doesn't actually say to do that. He just says, you know, how are you going? And I've been using that, and the people are actually, like this afternoon, just in my follow-ups, was like, hey, sorry, I haven't got back to you. And it was only like 3 days ago I sent them a link. How are you going? So I didn't actually mention, have you watched the link? But they've come back and they have brought it up to me and said, you know, I'm good, so sorry I didn't get back to you, but it's not the right time for me, or we have a program at our gym, or yes, please send something to me, you know, whatever it might be. But I think it's so important of just surrendering to that, because I know at first I asked Simon and was like, yeah, but what if they, you know, when you do the clam thing, because I got stuck, and I think a lot of us do, in rapport building, right? We get stuck in that. Like I would add 5 new friends, but here's a French, but fuck, I was loving on them and commenting on it forever. And Simon said, what happened? And I said, and I was like, how the fuck do I now message them? It's gone on that long. Like it's actually awkward now to message them, because I'm like, that's weird. But then I felt weird that I do it sooner, and I was kind of doing this dance of when is the right time. And he was like, just be real and do it. And I was like, okay. And I was scared. Like, I'll be honest. I was kind of like, you can't comment, like, add, and then message them like that. Man, that's a bit full on. Like, holy crap, I'm coming for you. Yeah. And it's like, it's your story. It's your shit. And you need to get you out of the way, Kylie, before you even think about doing that. And I have had the most links I've had sent out in so long, and it's just by following that. I even had a girlfriend that I shared the business with a little while ago, and she said no, and she put up a post yesterday that she was fired, told she had a job, fired, like told she had a job about 5 times in one day, because the administrators come in, and one manager said, no, you don't have a job. Another manager, another department was like, no, you're good. The administrator said, no, you're not. And she just went on this yo-yo all day. And she obviously put the rant up on Facebook. And I used Simon's stuff to reach out to her, and she's coming to the event tomorrow night. You know, it's just get yourself out of the way. Like, yeah, she said no before, but how much has her life changed? Like, she put up, I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, she's actually really worried about her financial situation. We have this amazing vehicle to share. That is a really shitty friend if I don't reach back out to her again. You know, because I am worried and I'm scared about what she's going to think. Actually, you know, and you have to go to that space of in the heart, like, I actually have something to share with her, and that's really rude. Like, that their family's in a financial position now, and I have something, I'm not going to share it with her again. You know, so she might not join. I don't know. But I've given her that opportunity to, you know, to take a look.
Yeah, and I think when you're sending out these messages as well, it's like when we first get started in the business and we're feeling a little bit hesitant about posting on Facebook, or we might finally do a couple of posts on Facebook or Instagram and then nobody likes it, and we beat ourselves up about it and think that it's not working or no one's interested. It's the same kind of feeling when you start on this. It's like you're sending out, you're doing that clam, and it's like, oh, this is so weird. I feel like I'm like pushing people or whatever, but like, take yourself out of it. Come from your heart and know that this business can help so many people. Don't worry about yourself. Get yourself out of the way. And I think when you are in that kind of headspace, when you're sending those messages and those invites, it just makes it so much more powerful, because they can tell you're not coming from a place of desperation. You're just coming from a place that you genuinely want to help them with what we have. And like Kylie said, you kind of are selfish, right, if you're not sharing it with people. Katie, yeah, I think so too. We're like, there's so many Juice Plus people in this insider group now that, you know, after conference, and of course Simon was there, and that's when he gave us, like, basically we're paying for 6 months, but we're getting 12 months access. So we're all getting it for half price, which I think it only worked out to be less than $500 or something, which is pretty awesome. And he goes live. He does a Q&A post every day, and then whoever wants questions answered, you've got to post the questions in the post. Ali, I'll see if you're added to that group, and I'll try and tag you in something, because you should have been added by now, but I'll have a look at that. And then he does the DMO every day. So even though it's 11:30 at night our time, I've only been on it live a couple of times, but then you just do it the next day. But it's basically exactly what I just covered. Like, he sets a timer for, it only goes for 15 minutes. So for the first 5 minutes, he'll set a timer, and that's when you're collecting friends, and he says, okay, time's up. Next 5 minutes, you're inviting people. Then the last 5 minutes, you're following up. So Jess Fozzard did an awesome, because she did the Simon Chan training on the Sunday after conference. We didn't. We went and had a team breakfast instead, just with us girls, which was really nice. But she does it in 6 minutes, and I think it's really, really powerful. It's on Freestyle. Just search Jess Fozzard, and she's done a really awesome, just basically exactly this. So save it to your notes, and when you have time, if you need a bit of guidance, play that every day for the next week, just to help you get into action and know exactly what you're doing, and then you won't need her help. But I think that's a really good one to check out if you haven't already seen it. So we might finish up there, girls, because I know most of you have been on our 8 o'clock call as well. So thanks so much for jumping on. It's so nice to see all your beautiful faces. And Hayley, it's good to see you back on as well, hun. Oh, there you are. Thanks.
I'll be taking notes.
Yeah, does that make things a little bit clearer for you as well? Because I know sometimes
Yes.
you feel a little bit lost as to, you want to work on your business, but you're not quite sure exactly
Yeah.
what to do.
No, I think I just kind of tapped out for a couple of months and was just didn't know how to get back